tonight's final award is named in honor of one of the Navy's great heroes and the very first recipient of the Medal of Honor for Valor in Afghanistan, Lieutenant Michael P. Murphy. Just 2 weeks ago, the Navy commissioned the USS Michael P. Murphy, named in honor in New York City. We would like to share the story of the USS Michael Murphy and its namesake.
Operation Red Wing involved cell phone. Made a phone call back to base during the time he was shot. Hunched over, sat back up, finished the phone call. At the end of it, he said thank you. Wanted to go back fighting at that time. 2 helicopters got sent out to go help out for quick reaction. One of the helicopters got shot down by an RPG, killed all the members on board.
Let's be honest, Michael knew when he went to Afghanistan why he was there. The idea that this ship, the USS Michael Murphy, is now traversing the Hudson past the 9/11 site to be berthed at Pier 88 next to the Intrepid. What can I tell you? I'm just overwhelmed.
It's really emotional because it has his name on it. And, you know, that's quite an honor to have a ship like this with your name on it.
Welcome aboard my son's ship. I am really happy the way this date has turned out. You know, Michael deserves it. I couldn't ask for anything more.
Michael Murphy represents all that is good about our Special Operations warrior. And to have a fine fighting ship named after him is the highest compliment one could have paid to Murph and all the soft soldiers and SEALs who perished that fateful day. In the SEAL teams, the greatest compliment one SEAL can bestow upon another is to call him a teammate. It's a simple term, but it conveys everything about how we live, how we fight, and sometimes how we die.
Officers and crew of USS Michael Murphy, man our ship and bring her to life.
We're the Michael Murphy, you know, and we serve in the namesake of one of the greatest Navy SEALs who's ever lived on this planet. But because it's for the Murph, we've all became a lot tougher and a lot more resilient, and that's why, you know, that's why our crew is so close, because we've gone through so much together to get this ship to where it is now, and we're leading the fight.
And presenting tonight's award on behalf of the Military Order of the Purple Heart Service Foundation and on behalf of Michael's parents, Dan and Maureen Murphy, will be Jeff Roy, National Commander of Military Order of the Purple Heart. He will come forward as we listen to the story of this year's honoree.
On October 25, 2007, Specialist Salvatore Giunta's platoon was conducting a movement to interdict enemy forces on the Gadigal Spur in order to provide overwatch for 2nd and 3rd Platoons exfil back to Combat Outpost Weimar and the Korengal Outpost. While conducting their exfil from the platoon's blocking position, Specialist Giunta's platoon was ambushed by 10 to 15 enemy personnel who utilized an L-shaped near ambush that was within 10 meters of the platoon's main body. The enemy fired 10 rocket-propelled grenades and 3 PKM machine guns from the apex of the ambush, and additional AK-47s, from throughout the ambush line. The enemy initiated the contact with an RPG and a burst of fire, which immediately hit and wounded 2 members of the lead team, Sergeant Brennan and Specialist Ekrode. Another RPG in the initial volley hit extremely close to Specialist Giunta's position. While Staff Sergeant Gallardo moved back to his Bravo team to get situation reports, Specialist Giunta provided covering fire by leading his team in suppressing enemy positions, assigning sectors of fire, and commanding his M203 gunner to engage close targets. While advancing towards Specialist Giunta's team, Staff Sergeant Gallardo was struck in the helmet by an AK-47 round, which caused him to fall to the ground. Despite being under heavy fire by PKM, RPG, and small arms, Specialist Giunta immediately left his covered position in order to render aid to his squad leader. As he moved to provide assistance, Specialist Giunta was struck by 2 bullets, one of which impacted his chest area, but was stopped by his enhanced small arms protective insert plate, and 1 round, which impacted the shoulder-launched multi-purpose assault weapon D rocket he was carrying across his back. Without hesitation, Specialist Giunta recovered from the impacts and ensured his squad leader was not injured. He then began bounding his team forward in an attempt to maneuver on the enemy. Specialist Giunta and his team were quickly pinned down by effective enemy machine gun and small arms fire from multiple positions at close range. Specialist Giunta, along with PFC Clary and Staff Sergeant Gallardo, quickly prepared fragmentation grenades and continued the assault by throwing 2 volleys of them at enemy positions that were approximately 15 meters to their west. They then assaulted forward through those positions, secured Specialist Ekrode, and began treating his wounds. Realizing that Sergeant Brennan was missing, PFC Clary and Specialist Giunta continued to push forward along the enemy's exfiltration route, despite taking small arms fire from enemy personnel who were attempting to cover their withdrawal. Moving in the lead and rapidly closing with the enemy, despite receiving effective fire, Specialist Giunta overtook 2 enemy combatants, attempting to drag off Sergeant Brennan, who had been incapacitated by his wounds. Specialist Giunta engaged 1 enemy combatant at close range and killed him, which caused the other enemy combatant to drop Sergeant Brennan and flee. Specialist Giunta then began immediate first aid on Sergeant Brennan and also helped his squad leader to adjust security, further consolidate casualties, and prepare for medical evacuation operations. Specialist Giunta's selfless actions and personal courage were the decisive factors in changing the tide of the battle, ensuring that Sergeant Brennan was not captured by the enemy, and preventing the lead fire team from being destroyed by the enemy's near ambush. Despite bullets impacting on and around him, Specialist Giunta fearlessly advanced on the enemy and provided aid to his fallen comrades. His actions saved the lives of multiple paratroopers and changed the course of the battle in his platoon's favor. For especially valorous actions during Operation Enduring Freedom 8, while assigned as a rifle team leader in Battle Company, 2nd Battalion Airborne, 503rd Infantry, Specialist Giunta's unwavering courage, aggressiveness, selfless service, and leadership while under extreme enemy fire were decisive in his platoon achieving fire superiority, defeating an enemy near ambush, and preventing the capture of a fellow paratrooper by the enemy. His actions reflect great credit upon himself, the Rock Battalion, the Bayonet Brigade Combat Team, Combined Joint Task Force 82, and the United States Army.
This is a truly special evening, folks, as the legacy of valor displayed by Medal of Honor recipient Michael P. Murphy lives on, I submit to you, in tonight's honoree. We are proud to welcome to the stage the first living recipient of the Medal of Honor for Valor in Afghanistan, Staff Sergeant Salvatore Giunta. Salvatore. Yeah, Mom.
I think me standing here is proof that we are still a strong country, that we will continue to be a strong country. I've never been anything but an average kid from Iowa. I came up under strong leaders. I came up under defiant leaders. I'm here because the men around me. I've never done anything special, nothing incredible, nothing extraordinary. I've done what's been asked of all of us. The stories I heard here tonight made my heart pound harder, made my skin start having goosebumps. I think just to be part of this great country, to be one more cog in the wheel, is enough for me. I appreciate all your support. I appreciate everything everyone has done, from the greatest generation to the latest generation, and all those soon to follow, all the cadets that are there. I appreciate what you do, because what you do matters, and it matters to me. Thank you.
Awesome.